What's up guys, welcome back to another video. In this video I'll be drawing the original design of a dragon. I've been drawing for about 8 months now, and with this piece I really think I reached a level I never thought I would. I used to look at drawings like this 8 months ago and wonder if I could reach that level one day. With each drawing I strive to do better, and this being my most recent drawing and also my best shows that I am achieving what I set out to do. I used a normal HB pencil to draw a dragon from different inspirations. In this drawing I used a ballpoint pen, 2 different grip types. I found that with a thicker grip I prefer shading, and with a smaller grip I do the little intricate details. I kinda see it as a shader and a liner, which is a good practice for me since I want to learn how to tattoo one day. I start off the drawing very lightly, to the point where some strokes may look like I'm not actually putting ink on the paper. So it's really a game of patience. Although it seems like I'm making the smallest adjustment, I know that by the end of it I'm gonna have a completed piece. And for me it's all about making sure this drawing becomes better than my previous one. I need to make sure that in this drawing I don't make the mistakes I made in the previous one, which then as a result shows my progress. Growing up I always thought dragons were cool as fuck, especially after watching Game of Thrones, which was definitely an inspiration for this drawing. The one thing I need to improve on is my shadows, so I made sure to take extra time. I realized that usually my mistakes occur when I press my pen down the hardest in the darker areas. In the first 80% of the body part, the drawing will look flat because I make sure I add my darker areas at the end. I need to map out where the lighting is going to be and all the shadows, and once it is structured, that's when I decide to put in my darker tones. And because I decided to go for an original design, I had to switch through pen and pencil at times in order to line up some areas more accurately. When constructing this piece, it's the first time I used a piece of paper on the side to scribble using the tip of my pen in order to minimize the amount of time my ink will bleed onto the paper. That was a mistake I made in my previous pieces where I'll have blotches in the darker areas. There are certain things I do when drawing which translates with my tattooing as well. For example, earlier I explained that I have a thicker grip and a thinner grip, which I call my shader and my liner. Also, using my pen to scribble on a piece of paper every 20 seconds is the same as dipping my needle cartridge inside ink, so it essentially forms a good habit which can translate between both skills. When doing these realistic pieces, my efficiency isn't the best, and I could admit that. I think that's a lack of experience, and in the future I believe I'll get to the point where I could do more in the allocated time, but right now that's the least of my concerns. I'm developing my skills and my main priority is to create a quality piece, no matter how long it takes me. In the previous video when I drew a Kendrick Lamar portrait, I realized at the end that the drawing was very flat, it was very smooth, and with this drawing I made sure I wasn't afraid to create darker tones, because with the darker tones it gives the drawing more depth. I also think this drawing will translate into tattooing very well. I'd love to tattoo this on skin one day. I think now that I'm somewhat comfortable with my drawing abilities, I'm going to do drawings that I could visually see translated onto skin. This drawing took about 20 hours in total maybe, and I understand that's a long time, so the next variable I want to improve in my next drawing would be to be more efficient, so I think I'm going to set a timer on my phone to help me with that. The technique I went with in this drawing was the hatching technique. I feel like it gives me the most control, it's the one I'm most comfortable with. I'm really happy with the tones and the shading I've achieved with this drawing. It feels good to achieve a piece of art I never thought I would be able to attain a few months ago, which goes to show if you really want something and put all your energy towards it, everything is achievable. You know, right now I'm at the stage where tattooing this on real skin seems far-fetched, but because I was able to achieve what I did in the few months, you know, despite seeing this as unattainable, I have no doubt in my mind that I'll achieve this level of skill on real skin as well over time. I always believed in my drawings. I always knew I had it in me. I was always a creative person. Every drawing I did along my 8-month journey I loved. You know, looking back at my sketchbook now, I see the flaws in my drawing more clearly than I did before. So I have no doubt in my mind that in the future when I look back at this drawing, I might not like it. But as of now, staying present, it's reflecting my progress, and I can't be more happy about that. I also want to point out that I'm very new to this, and in order to master something, I believe you never stop being the student. So if there is anything you'd like to comment, which you think will help me in my journey, I'd appreciate that. I believe artists, despite their skill gap, can benefit each other, and only drawing and tattooing consistently for 8 months keeps me humble as I'm still a beginner in the field, and if anything motivates me to strive to do better. I'll end this video off on the fact that my goal is to be a great artist one day, and I believe I could achieve that wholeheartedly, and I would appreciate if you could join me on that journey. So like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.